It's not that full self-driving will be as good as a person. It will be much, much better. Like a lot. Like over time, and 10 times more, 10 times safer than a person. It's not even going to be a contest, frankly.
Oh, well, if he says it, I guess it must be true, even if he says it in the most halting and uncharismatic way imaginable, except that it's not true, at least as of right now. Now, in Elon Musk's defense, he said over time, and he could mean over the next 1,000 years, but at least as of right now, the initial testing of his self-driving robotaxis are not exactly painting a very safe picture. He says 10 times safer than a regular driver. I guess if you're absolutely wasted, it might be 10 times better, but not a sober regular driver. Because as of right now, Tesla robotaxis are reportedly crashing at a rate that's 4 times higher than humans. Not safer, actually less safe. And the data is being drawn from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. The reporting shows that Tesla disclosed 5 new crashes involving its robotaxi fleet in Austin. That's where they're doing the tests so far. Again, as it rolls out around America, we'll see. The new data raises concerns about how safe the systems really are compared to the average driver. They had incidents, by the way, going from December 2025 through to January. All 5 involved Tesla Model Y vehicles operating in Austin with autonomous driving systems engaged. And they had a breakdown of what the actual crashes looked like. One was a collision with a fixed object at 17 miles per hour. One was a crash with a bus while the Tesla vehicle was stopped, which might or might not have actually been the Tesla's fault unless it had stopped like in the intersection or something. There was a crash with a truck at 4 miles per hour and 2 cases where Tesla vehicles backed into fixed objects at low speeds. Those recent 5 make 14 total crashes since the robotaxis began operating in Austin last June. Now, at net, is that a lot? I don't know. I mean, they're not killing people, which is good. Bear in mind, they are driving on very limited roadways that they have mapped very carefully. This has not been expanded to wildly different sorts of terrain or traffic. This is kind of a best case scenario that's been set up in not just Austin, but a geo fenced tiny area of Austin. And still they're finding more crashes. So the fleet has reached roughly 700,000 cumulative paid miles through November. It's believed now to have passed 800,000 by mid-January. That comes out to roughly 1 crash every 57,000 miles, which doesn't sound that bad. The issue is that a regular US driver, not a good driver, a regular driver, experiences a minor crash every 229,000 miles and a major collision every 699,000 miles. That means that Tesla rate is about 4 times higher than the average driver, which isn't great necessarily. And the issue is that going forward, I don't know why we would expect that Elon Musk would take this safety seriously, considering that he never engages with these reports showing that Teslas are less safe. He always just ignores it. And he doesn't even seem to take safety seriously in a general sense. He was asked about the fact that Grok doesn't have a safety team, that Twitter doesn't have much of a safety team. And he said that just in general, he doesn't believe in that. He says it's because everyone's job is safety. It's not some fake department with no power to assuage the concerns of outsiders. Tesla has no safety team and is the safest car. SpaceX has no safety team and has the safest rocket. Dragon is what NASA trusts most to fly astronauts. So first of all, I don't feel great about that answer, considering that Grok does produce child sexual abuse material. You're saying well, it's okay, everybody's on safety. Well, then I guess everybody failed when it came to Grok. Teslas are crashing at higher rates, and overall, I've told people this multiple times, it has been found that Tesla has the highest fatal accident rate of all auto brands, all of them. So I don't know, maybe taking safety a little bit more seriously would be a good thing from the point of view of the families of the people who have been locked in their Teslas and burned to death because you won't make minor changes to bring it up to the safety standards of every other brand. Just something to think about. I'm not the genius though, Sharon. What do you make of it?
Neither is he. Ask his daddy. I mean, SpaceX has crashed how many times? And look, that happens as you're trying to improve technology, innovation. There's going to be some casualties. But you're right, his answer is such that he doesn't really give a damn, okay? And he's making that quite clear to people. Your safety, your well-being, the safety of your children, child porn, none of that. He thinks everything is a big fat joke. And when he wants to manipulate books and enrich himself on paper and the like, then he does that. But nothing else really matters. Your security, financials, big balls going into things in the government and opening up records he had no business opening up, and Social Security and the like. This is the last guy we should be depending on to safeguard us in any way.
Yeah, no, obviously, I think 100%. By the way, our producer Mike, he found one way that they are trying to get a handle on this. Not the safety problems, but the bad PR. So he was doing searches of like things like the Tesla, like Elon Musk, and it'll auto-populate with like some suggested post or whatever. Considering that the conversation around these topics is very back and forth on Twitter, what you find when you search for it is nothing negative pops up anymore. Twitter has been very carefully, the algorithm has been modified that Elon Musk, Tesla, his brands are being totally protected by the algorithm to make this negative stuff, negative comments, negative news reports, just not surface anymore. And nobody should be surprised by that, considering he's gonna manipulate the algorithm to give himself more reach. He's definitely gonna do it to suppress news he doesn't want you to see. And by the way, I will also say, I've seen safety reports of Waymo implying that it is actually safer than human drivers over the testing they've done, which is not just in one area of Austin. Now that said, they did also testify recently that they might not be as driverless as they've implied. In some cases, it seems like they just have people in other countries that are remotely driving the car, which seems worse than just having drivers here. So Waymo is certainly deserving of criticism and investigation as well. But so far, it looks like Tesla is not just having the normal sort of growing pains that these sorts of companies are, they're having additional ones. And it might not be a surprise considering who's in charge.
If you enjoyed that, make sure that you never miss another video by subscribing. And if you want a little more, consider hitting the join button and becoming an actual member. But you're probably wondering, why the hell would I do that, John? First off, calm down. The stakes in this are very, very low. But also, when you click the join button and you become a member, you get access to bonus content that I make every week, and it's a ton of fun. You get access to tons of custom emojis and more besides that. By the way, if you join at tier 3, you even get access to a monthly member hangout with myself and other awesome people, and we always have a great time. By the way, you'll get all that going forward, but you also unlock years of the back catalog. That is literally 100 or more bonus clips, top 10 lists, debates, and more. What are you waiting for? Click the join button below. Your support powers our show, and we couldn't do it without you. Or at the very least, I wouldn't really want to try. Viewers like you keep me here. So thank you in advance for joining.